Hello, friends. I am your friendly neighborhood minister of record, John McLean, and it's the delight of my life that I get to be with you and to talk about things which have helped me so much in my life, as well as countless other people. I am continuing on with my series from my photo booth. That's the name of the app. At my location in the high desert, somewhere sequestered in the mountains by Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I'm continuing on with the series that we started. Could it be, maybe 9 months ago, about the 12 powers, a concept that was originally coined by Charles Fillmore. And his notion is that there are certain aspects of Creator God. And as we are made in the image and likeness of that Creator God, there are capacities and powers that we have that we can call on at any time to heal, to prosper, and to bless both ourselves and others. And what we have been, it's always good to review, is it not? What we've looked at so far is faith, strength, judgment, love, imagination, will, order. And today, I'm going to offer some commentary on power, the power of power, as written about by William Warch in this book that I am continuing to refer to, Your 12 Gifts from God and How to Use Them. Commentary on the 12 powers itself. The writer, in terms of a preview, gives us this thumbnail. He writes that power, again, as an aspect of consciousness, as part of your conscious awareness. Power is the ability to transform energy from one plane to another. Sounds good. Silence, thought, word, and manifestation are aspects of power. That sounds like the creative process to me. Power is the ability to change thoughts and feelings. Okay, we're getting close now. Power is not for controlling others. Well, what's the point? Power is not for controlling others. King of the universe, I want everyone to bend to my will, to obey me. I want to leap tall buildings in a single bound and change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in my bare hands. Power. Okay, I guess that's not what it's about. But as these are aspects of consciousness, there's going to be not a physical manifestation of power, but a metaphysical manifestation of power. And this is something that every one of us can learn to use and ultimately master. That's the point of spiritual practice, is it not? To begin to learn about, then to incorporate, to embody, to practice spiritual practice, and then to master. I like this. Silence, thought, word, and manifestation are aspects of power. He also writes that power is your ability to choose your thoughts and feelings. How about that? You do indeed have an edit function, and it's called power. Mental power, conscious power, soul power. We are not beings that only respond and only act out in response to something that is in front of us. We're here to be creative, to be proactive, to create and then to recreate over and over again. So let's look at this notion, shall we, of silence, thought, word, and manifestation are stages of power in action. If the idea occurs to me, and what idea would that be? The idea might be something like, there's a healing that I would like to effect in my physical being. This is one of the great original uses of power and prayer, and the power of prayer and unity. That prayer has the ability to heal because there is power in it. There's power in the silence, there's power in the thought, there's power in the word. And so then what is the thought first? The thought first is that no thing of an inferior nature can come to me. Myrtle Fillmore's great revelation when she heard a lecture all those many years ago was she said, well, I'm a child of God and I cannot inherit sickness. That was her first experience of then what morphed into we call, teach, practice unity. That I am a child of God and therefore cannot inherit sickness, and or no thing of an inferior nature can come to me. Not possible. Not possible. So that is the thought. That is the thought. And then the creative process thus begins. We having the power to shape. I think about that no thing of an inferior nature can come to me, can inhabit my body. And I sit with that first in the silence. Maybe repeat that over and over to yourself. You're all advanced students. I don't know what your process is, and I'm certainly not going to outline that for you. That there's a right or a wrong way to do it. But there is a more effective and a less effective process. And it begins with an idea, and then it begins with sitting in the silence and allowing the idea to find foothold within your mind, within your being, and to cultivate an image, a new thought about that desire fulfilled. That if indeed I'm having a physical challenge and no thing of an inferior nature can come to me, I cultivate the feeling of wellness. Because we know that wellness is your natural state. That sickness does come, yet it comes to pass. It is not our natural state. And so we work towards the notion and the memory and the feeling of the natural state of health, of wholeness, of what well-being is for you, for me, individually, and maybe uniquely you, and maybe uniquely me. And then it is the Fillmore's recommendation that you speak the word of power, because power is located here in the voice box. You know, Charles Fillmore believed that there was a location where these different powers resided in our subtle body, not our physical body, but in our subtle body. That power is here. And when we have the thought and the new thought and the image and the feeling of the manifestation, of the demonstration, we speak the word of truth. That not only is no thing of an inferior nature come to me or my body temple, but I am well, and I am whole, and I am free. In the fullness of time, based on our individual mastery of this creative process, we will know the results. And I believe that's why the author says that silence, thought, word, and then manifestation are stages of power in action. Which brings up the question, have you decided if you will use your power for good or for evil? That's up to you. Being a spiritual teacher, I'm going to recommend you use your power for good. I'm going to advise you to get in tune with that power that is within you, your ability. You can call it your native ability, is what power is. Power is your ability to choose your thoughts and feelings, no matter what. To be nonchalant in the face of the impossible is a choice you can make. He goes on to say most people don't realize this fact, but it is nevertheless true. You can choose your thoughts and feelings. You have the choice over anger, over fear, over compassion. You can choose tenderness or bigotry, attitudes, and belief. And for some, you can choose your family too. Not all are born into a family of origin that nurtures, supports, spiritually sustains us. And you too can have an intentional family. In part, that's what our church communities are. It is the intentional family, where we're pretty much on the same page. And we pretty much recognize that there is God in all. And I am that, and you are that. And together, we can do what I could not do alone. Family. Here's the bummer. The greatest misconception about your gift of power is the belief that it is to be used over other people. No. Your consciousness is greatly troubled if you are controlling and manipulating others, and I know when I'm doing that, and I bet you nickel you do too. Your consciousness will be greatly troubled if you are controlling and manipulating others. Your desire to do so is a sign of weakness, lack of balance, and fear. The danger comes when your attention is being constantly pulled to outer people and conditions rather than to the source of your power. This results in wars and a sense of might makes right. And in the practice of metaphysics, it is never right. A sense of separateness from your God manifests in your consciousness. And this is the activity of everyday life, is it not? If everybody would be reasonable and do everything exactly the way I want them to do it, then all will be well in the world. And that is not your business, and it is not my business to control anybody or anything. but my own mind. That is the chief work of your spiritual practice and your life, is to stand vigil at the gates of your mind and to allow thoughts that affirm life and to reject all thoughts, people, and activities that are life-diminishing. Beyond belief or disbelief, this is my credo. That is the chief work of your life, because if you do that efficiently, then all other good things will be an emergent property of that practice. I have felt it in my life, and I know that you can too. But I tell you, as old-fashioned as some of this language is here, this really got my attention when I was reviewing this. And we are pulled to want to be controlling, to want to be critical, to want to be overburdening. To others, it is a sign of my weakness, of my lack of balance, of my fear. And that's what I need to heal. Not you, but my lack of balance, my sense of inadequacy, my fear. You know, in the 12-step healing traditions, there is that prayer that most everybody in the world knows at this point, which is, God, grant me the serenity to accept those things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, this is a prayer that speaks directly to power, the spiritual capacity for power that we're talking about here. It's innate. It's in every one of us. It's a choice, though. Can I choose serenity when things are not going my way? Yeah, I can. Can I choose courage when there is something that is mine to do? Not mine to be the boss of you, to tell you to do it for me. There is power in making a choice that this is mine to do, and to recognizing that. The other reframing of the serenity prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. That's all y'all. And the courage to change the things I can. Me. And the wisdom to know the difference. The fortitude to wake up to that fact. And in doing that, I am selecting to be powerful. I am opting for power. I am assuming full responsibility for my life, not yours, for my life, and how I will live the vision of the wish fulfilled. How I will live the vision of the wish fulfilled. And when I assume full responsibility for myself, when I call upon the power to keep my mouth shut when something is none of my business, and call upon the power to open my mouth and to share my experience in a compassionate and loving way, that might help make a difference as well. And you know, the funny thing about that also is, guys, I was just reminded with something I read. was that when we assume full responsibility for our lives and act in grace and in wisdom and continue to develop skills, our sense of self-esteem blooms in its fullness. Because the self-esteem that we seek from others from outside, it never comes. And when it does, it's never enough. Having been in the entertainment business for many years, I realize that there are some performers where all the applause in the world will never be enough. And that's true for you and me in some parts of our lives, isn't it? That all the accolades in the world will never be enough. The enoughness comes from within. When I make a demand on my character, on my spiritual abilities, the spiritual aspects and properties of my own mind, and I act in accord with nature, I will find that good comes to bloom. Good comes to bloom. Let's have a brief meditation. Should we do that together? Yes? You can set anything aside that may be in your hands or maybe on your lap, and you can set aside all the worry of something that might have happened this morning or any concern about something that you might be needing to do after you leave church today. But I'm going to close my eyes as I do this, and I invite you to do that too. Even though I know there are one or two people that always keep their eyes open, and that's okay too. But I'm going to close my eyes now. And I will be still. And I will use the power of power to choose my thoughts. To give free range to thoughts and ideas that are life-enhancing and healing. I will use my power, my edit function, to release any thoughts and feelings that are not life-affirming, and to turn away ideas, people, events, and information that is life-diminishing. And with a mind of even one idea that I know is truly true, an idea such as love triumphs. Love triumphs. And to be with that in the silence. If that silence is only 3 breaths long. And to cultivate the feeling of the true awareness that love triumphs. And to speak that word as I am now, that no matter what is going on in my world, that for me in my house, I choose to live according to love, no matter what. And this word being sent forth into the creative medium, it will come back fulfilled as an experience of love triumphing over hate, love releasing all worry, of love releasing judgment, resentment, and disappointment, but of love being truly that cup that runneth over. I give thanks for the ability to speak these words, and even as I hear myself say them, to receive them. I give thanks for the great teachers who have come before us over thousands of years. And I give thanks for this beloved community. And so it is, and amen. And breathe deeply and open your eyes. And as Eric Butterworth used to say, no matter what is in front of you, let something good be said. That's a power you can choose. I thank you for being with me today, and I so look forward to seeing you again in person soon. Take care.